Are you seriously attending our wedding? Well, I might cringe a bit introducing you as my sister-in-law to her relatives, Lily, my brother's fiancée, quipped. I'm Katie, a 37-year-old single woman who left school early. I don't hide my dropout status or my solo life at this stage. Actually, I embrace it, knowing it's led me to a fulfilling life with my beloved family. Since I can remember, my family has known poverty and the absence of a father figure. My mother, unmarried, raised me and my younger brother, Georgie, just 2 years my junior. Despite her tireless efforts, providing for 2 children meant we were always on the brink of financial struggle. Occasionally, a relative would offer assistance, but my mother would politely decline, saying, "Only when we're truly desperate, please." When I questioned her refusal, she'd respond, "Accepting might upset his wife." Yet truthfully, there were times I wished she had accepted the help. Georgie was an exceptional child, consistently ranking at the top of his class in elementary school. As his proud older sister, I envisioned a bright future for him. His teacher even suggested him for a prestigious school, but finances barred that path. Instead, he settled for a less than ideal institution, leaving me feeling helpless. Determined to support him, I made the bold decision to leave school and enter the workforce. Truthfully, academics never held much appeal for me. While job opportunities for dropouts were scarce and poorly compensated, I found myself in a modest office position. When the business owner retired and recommended me to a reputable company, my fortunes changed. With diligence, I climbed the ranks, earning a managerial role by age 35 with a salary matching that of college graduates. Yet my brother's fiancée, Lily, appears disapproving of my dropout status, particularly since my brother Georgie, now a graduate of a prestigious university, thrives as a salesman at ABC Trading, a top-tier company. Whether it's my single eyelid or my demeanor, Lily seemed to peg me as a failed dropout from our first encounter. I was taken aback when Georgie disclosed Lily's query, "Is your sister, like, some sort of troublemaker?" Despite Lily's striking appearance and her father's position as a director at ABC Trading, where Georgie works, her character is questionable at best. During one visit to our home, Lily was so repulsed by our dilapidated apartment that she refused to step inside, lamenting, despite dressing up nicely, "I'm getting dirtied." She felt ashamed that her boyfriend, under her father's authority as department head, commuted from such humble surroundings. Consequently, she arranged for Georgie to move into family housing, leveraging her father's influence. She absurdly insisted it was for their future marriage, but there was a catch. Outsiders were barred from entering, even close relatives needing permission for each visit. When I quipped about missing out on seeing their wedded bliss, Lily's mother easily retorted, "That's precisely why they're in family housing." Furthermore, Lily displayed rudeness towards my mother during her visit to our home. Whispering in a tone Georgie couldn't catch, she remarked, "Since your mother-in-law was poor, Georgie will be stuck repaying his student loans even after marriage. Don't parents usually cover tuition?" Her gaze bore into my mother. The truth was, both my mother and I had diligently saved for Georgie's education, but he insisted on handling it himself. It revealed the challenging personalities of Lily and her mother, a trait Georgie recognized due to their pretentious airs reminiscent of celebrities. I've desired my mother's relocation to the company housing, yet Lily claims that siblings of the husband aren't eligible. This leaves my sister-in-law isolated, a distressing prospect. When I mentioned my scholarship graduation, Lily's mother chimed in, "You're eager to ease your mother's burden, aren't you?" Such a thoughtful and wonderful person. She happily extolled Lily and her family's virtues. Well, if the couple is happy together, there's no reason for us to criticize them, so we kept our opinions to ourselves. However, that turned out to be a mistake. Lily and her family began to ostracize me and my mother, particularly me. "Sister-in-law, are you planning to attend the wedding?" With Georgie's wedding just 2 weeks away, Lily suddenly reached out to me. Of course, he's my only brother, but the venue is quite extravagant, with around 150 guests expected. It seems they've even invited the president and managing director of ABC Corporation, along with other VIPs, considering the marriage between the department head's daughter and the promising Georgie. Concerned about the attire, I asked if they had a dress code. Lily responded, "I think everyone would feel uncomfortable if there's one sister-in-law who looks less well off." "What do you mean less well off? What do you mean less well off?" "Well, I plan to wear a formal outfit. Your idea of formal is probably a catalog suit worth about 10,000 yen, right? It's awkward to stand out among people wearing high-end brands, Lily judged, deeming me of lower status. To be honest, I'd rather you didn't attend our wedding. Frustrated by Lily's insinuation that those of modest means weren't welcome, I confronted her. What about my mother then? She doesn't own any high-end brand clothes either. I understand, but I can't exclude Georgie, who is valued by the company, and I'd prefer not to be embarrassed by the appearance of myself or my family. So we'll arrange attire for your mother. Lily's words left me deeply upset, though I understood the importance of dressing appropriately for an event attended by individuals from prestigious companies. I tried to see her directive as a gesture of concern to spare my mother any embarrassment at Georgie's significant occasion. However, her next statement caught me off guard. Naturally, you'll need to purchase that dress. It's an Oscar de la Renta evening gown, so budget around $10,000 in total. Wait, hold on. I can't afford such an expense. If you can't cover it, you'll need to find a way. Or do you intend to stand beside my parents in a cheap dress? I was stunned. And have you discussed this with Georgie? I haven't informed Georgie yet. Naturally, he assumes both you and mother will be there, but it could affect his future if his mother remains unmarried and his sister is labeled a dropout. Well, I believe nowadays being from a family with single mothers or dropouts doesn't hinder someone's career. Refusing to succumb to Lily's biases, I declared, regardless, it's my brother's wedding, so both mother and I will attend. We'll arrange our attire without relying on your stipulations. If it truly bothers you, then simply don't extend the invitation. I confided in mother and sought her counsel. She appeared downcast initially but soon brightened and said with resolve, "Don't fret, Katie. I made a promise to ensure Georgie's happiness. Leave it to me." With that, she dialed a number, eventually revealing something astonishing. The wedding day arrived, and a solemn ceremony unfolded in the chapel. Initially, I debated whether to inform Georgie about Lily's remarks, but ultimately, I entrusted everything to mother and kept quiet. Yet Georgie's demeanor appeared tense. Was it mere nerves, or had mother divulged something to him? Following the ceremony, I was taken aback when I glanced at the seating arrangement in the reception hall. Mother's name was the sole entry in the family section, and I found no seat allocated for me. Wait, no seat for me. Despite confirming my attendance, it seemed they were deliberately sidelining me from the reception. Just then, Lily's parents arrived, casting a disdainful glance in my direction. I can't fathom why you didn't grasp Lily's hint to skip the reception. We tolerated your presence at the ceremony out of obligation, but we refuse to have your poverty on display at the reception. Leave, dropout sister. Like mother, like daughter. Very well, I'll leave. With a heavy heart, I walked away from Lily's parents, who smirked smugly. To my surprise, standing nearby was Mr. Ashcroft, the CEO of Nikomimi Corporation, a prominent company and a business associate of Lily's father, alongside Georgie. Mr. Ashcroft, thank you for coming. Georgie greeted him warmly. Katie, you're causing a disturbance. My apologies, Mr. Ashcroft. We were simply addressing an uninvited guest, Lily's father interjected. Mr. Ashcroft then intervened. If you're adamant about removing Katie, then I, as her father, will also excuse myself from the reception. Huh? Father, what are you saying? They exchanged bewildered looks, struggling to comprehend Mr. Ashcroft's unexpected declaration. Katie is indeed my daughter, Mr. Ashcroft affirmed. It emerged that he and mother had been involved in their 20s. At the time, Mr. Ashcroft was an executive poised to become CEO, while mother, orphaned in an accident, faced solitude. Their relationship encountered initial resistance. Moreover, when mother became pregnant with me, Nikomimi Corporation, Mr. Ashcroft's father's company, teetered on the brink of bankruptcy. Opposition abounded, doubting the marriage would aid the company's recovery. Thus, mother proposed postponing the marriage until the company stabilized. Despite societal disapproval, she embraced single motherhood, nurturing me with the love she shared with Mr. Ashcroft. However, the company's fortunes didn't markedly improve. When mother became pregnant with Georgie, the CEO's daughter, extending a proposal, offered a lifeline. Mother selflessly stepped aside, asserting, "I'll raise our children with care. You needn't acknowledge them. Just find happiness with her and revive your company." Upon marrying the CEO's daughter, Mr. Ashcroft not only revitalized his company but propelled it to unprecedented heights, where it transitioned into a publicly traded company. However, our marriage remained childless, and we divorced a year ago due to my wife's infidelity. Following this, I sought reconciliation with Mother shortly before Georgie's wedding. I met with Ashcroft, the company's president, and my father. Oh, I remember him. Yes, he was the uncle who visited our apartment occasionally during my childhood, offering assistance to Mother. Little did I know he would later become President Ashcroft. As I glanced at him involuntarily, he offered a reassuring smile and remarked, "You've been through a lot. Your mother told me about the upcoming wedding." He confided his concerns in me. President Ashcroft, now Georgie's business partner, was well acquainted with Georgie's abilities. I hope for him to lead Migo Mimi Corporation someday. However, if he fails to discern the true intentions of deceitful individuals and disregards his mother and sister, I cannot entrust the company to him. Thus, he used the wedding as an opportunity to assess Georgie's character. The day prior to the wedding, President Ashcroft and Mother disclosed their history to Georgie, along with Lily's family's attempts to exclude us. Faced with these revelations, Georgie, who had placed trust in Lily and her parents, approached the wedding with mixed emotions. Hence his solemn demeanor during the ceremony. However, upon witnessing my absence from the reception seating chart and observing Lily's parents' attempts to remove me from the venue, he was convinced of the truth behind Mother's and my words. Georgie escorted Lily to the reception desk and declared, "Lily, Mr. and Mrs. Lily, I'm calling off this marriage. I refuse to align myself with individuals who disrespect and belittle my beloved mother and sister." Hold on a moment. You can't just make such a decision out of the blue. Indeed, this is all a misunderstanding. Besides, we've already completed the ceremony. The pair was in a state of panic, yet Lily, failing to grasp the gravity of the situation, inadvertently worsened matters. "What? Georgie, are you choosing those lower-class mother and daughter over me? You should know your place." Lily's parents, visibly shaken, attempted to intervene, but it was too late. As I laid out the details to Lily, she collapsed in despair, tears streaming down her face. President Ashcroft's remark, "We may need to reconsider our business ties with your company," drove Lily's parents to tears as they offered profuse apologies. The entire reception witnessed this exchange, leading to its abrupt cancellation. Georgie severed all connections with Lily, refraining from filing the marriage paperwork. Subsequently, I received a furious phone call from Lily. "You ruined my chances with Georgie. I'll be sending you a bill for damages and venue cancellation fees." In response, I calmly stated, "Is that so? In that case, I'll be taking legal action for defamation." Everyone at the reception heard the derogatory remarks from you and your parents. With that, she fell silent. Moreover, I disclosed how Lily's father had been stripped of his authority over transactions with Migo Mimi Corporation, demoted, and sidelined. Perhaps I should inform your father that Lily threatened me. This could lead Migo Mimi Corporation to cease all dealings with ABC Trading. Wouldn't your father likely lose his job? Disregarding Lily's tearful pleas, I ended the call from my end. It felt like justice served. Georgie, who had terminated his engagement with Lily, subsequently joined Migo Mimi Corporation and appears determined to climb the ranks, aiming to become his father's trusted confidant. Mother and father are preparing for their wedding soon. Mother feels bashful about marrying at her age, but her joy shines through as we select her wedding gown together. While I've been focused on my career thus far, I've begun to entertain the idea that one day I too may walk down the aisle in a mother's wedding dress.